Hey playa, welcome to another live stream here. For those of you that are new here, my name is Josh, and every single Monday through Friday, I make videos sharing tips, ideas, and stories, teaching you how to be your best self. And in this live stream, I'm going to explain exactly why no one liked me in high school. You might think that, hey, I seem like a pretty normal and relaxed person now, but when I was in high school, I was a loser, I would say. I wasn't the most popular kid. I didn't really have that many friends. And there are a lot of things I want to walk you guys through that I didn't really understand when I was in high school. And it's only now that I'm older that I can look back and say, wow, I wish I did that differently. I wish I avoided that. I wish I stepped up there. So there's a lot of areas that I want to share with you guys. Hopefully, if you're in high school, if you're heading to high school at some point, or you're already past high school, this is something that you can relate to or something you can take in and say, well, I'm not going to make the same mistakes Josh did because I'm going to do better. So before I go into those points, I do want to say hi to the early birds here in the chat. Down at the Gamer, Thomas Turner, Simson, Super Kid, good to see you, Super Kid. Drew Hind, Red Lightning, Killjoy, DYLXN. I can never say that name, but I've seen you before. How's it going, everyone? How you guys doing? If you're excited about this live stream, hit the thumbs up button down below. As many of you guys know, after the live stream, I always put up the timestamps. So if you want to jump in and see the specific questions that I answered or jump to a specific thing that I talked about, you can always check out. It'll be featured and pinned as the first comment after I put it up. So that's always available there. If you have a question, this is important, guys. If you have a question that you are dying to ask me, it's something that's super important, super just burning in your life, you can always use the super chat function. The super chat function is going to allow you to just, boom, put that question right in front of my face. I'll see it. I'll stop what I'm doing. I'll answer it. I give high priority to super chats. So if you have something that you need to talk to me about and you haven't been able to reach me through Instagram or on Discord or anywhere else, that's the best way to do it. So I do want to see what you guys are saying in the chat. Everyone's saying welcome to each other. It's good to see all of you guys again. I'm happy that you guys can jump in. I do want to jump into the first point because I think that we're going to kind of string along and get through all these things. And I think that the conversation will unfold on its own. But I think one of the main things that kind of held me back when I was in high school from being likable, from being popular, all week long, I'm talking about being likable and what it takes to actually be considered likable, to have people look at you like you're someone that they want to hang out with, someone they want to talk to, someone they want to spend time with. But for me, it's not. There was a lot of things that I wasn't doing right or I should have done better that I didn't really understand. And the first one there was that I believed that none of the popular kids or none of the likable kids in my school cared about me or wanted anything to do with me. I just had this thought in my head that the popular kids only wanted to communicate with the popular kids, and I was over here on an island all by myself, not anywhere near these kids, not anywhere in the same realm where I can talk to them or get to know them better. In my mind, I separated myself from that group. And, when we talk about popular kids, we have to really break down what we mean by popular kids, right? I think it's pretty self-evident in a way. Popular kids are the kids that maybe are good looking or do really well at school, or a lot of people know about them or care about them, or they just have a lot of friends. Popular can mean so many different types of things in high school, but generally it all comes back to having people's attention, right? If you have people's attention in high school, you're considered popular. So for me, I was the complete opposite of that. I didn't really have a lot of people's attention. I wasn't making people stop and go, hey, what's Josh up to? How's Josh doing? That wasn't really the life that I led in high school. I was more shy and quiet and reserved. And I think that in my mind, I had created a distance between me and the popular kids. I thought, well, there's no way they're ever going to want to talk to someone like me. They're never going to think I'm cool. And that was a problem. That was something that I think I was doing wrong. And I think a lot of you guys might run into a situation like that too, where you see you see miles and miles of distance between you and the popular kids. And part of the reason why you feel that that's there is because you feel like, they just don't accept you for who you are. They don't get you or they don't understand you. And I think for myself in high school, I thought the same thing. But now that I'm older, looking back at it, the one thing that I would really change is I'd want to recognize the simple truth that there really is no difference between the popular kids and the non-popular kids. And I mean real differences. I'm not talking about looks or schoolwork or having friends. I'm talking about real differences, because at the end of the day, the popular kids want the same thing that you do. And that's for people to understand them, to like them, to listen to them, to care about them. Everyone has that same goal in mind. They want to be understood for who they are. So I think connecting with a popular kid, or connecting with someone that you think is likable, or someone you want to get to know better, whether it's a crush that you have is popular, or it's someone that you want to be friends with that's popular. What it comes down to in terms of connecting with those kids is being open and honest to learn about who they are. This is something I talked about in the video on Monday, where I talk about how to be a more likable person in high school. And a big part of that is just that you have to allow that person to see that you are going to make the effort to get to know them better. Now, you might be thinking to yourself something like, well, they don't care to get to know me. So as much as I try to talk to them and be nice to them, they're just not giving me the time of day. But I think a workaround to all of that is that part of it is that there are kids in your school that are just going to be jerks, and they are just not the kind of people that you probably want to associate yourself with. Yes, they're popular. Yes, they're cool. Yes, maybe some of them are attractive, but at the end of the day, they're probably not the kids you want to associate with. You don't really want to be part of that clique that they bully other kids, or they make fun of them, or they tease others, or they brag about how cool they are. But there are probably popular kids that you think are likable, are worth getting to know, are people that you want to build better friendships with. So popularity isn't a singularity. It isn't like all popular kids are the same. There are some popular kids that are fun to talk to, that are worth getting to know. And I think it's important for you to recognize that um, if you want to get to know them better, if you want to get to know that small piece of the popular kids better that you actually think are not bullies, or not jerks, or not mean, if you really want to get to know them better, I think the best thing for you to do is to talk to them, to listen to them, and to get to know them better by asking them questions about their interests, about their hobbies. That's the best way to kind of figure out, you know, what the two of you have in common, and you really connect to that core value being that we all want to feel understood for who we are. So I want to jump in and see what some of you guys have to say. I'm curious where you guys stand. Are you someone that's popular? Do you want to get to know the popular kids better? If you want to get to know the popular kids better, let's post a thumbs up. If you want nothing at all to do with the popular kids, you want to just avoid them like the plague, post a thumbs down. Let's see the difference of thumbs ups and thumbs downs going on here. I'm going to jump in and look at what some of you guys are saying here in the chat early on. Dono the Gamer says, sorry for the Rickroll. Dono, you got me good there, man. I got to say. He left a video link that I thought was a real video, and it was actually a Rickroll. Lord of Luxury says, popular kids never do well in school, Josh. What are you talking about? They're the cool ones. So yeah, so that's an interesting thing too. So the cool kids could also be the kids that do well in school, and I'll give you an example of that. So when I was in high school, there was a few girls that were in kind of like my biology class, my chemistry class, and they got straight A's. They were captains of all the teams. They were just like overachievers and succeeders at everything they did. It's like any class they were in, any test they took, they got straight A's. Like they always excelled at school. So the popular kids could be the kids that do well in school. Popular kids doesn't mean that they're failing all their classes. It's like they could be the overachievers. They could be the kids that, are like, they're in high school and they're already like studying and doing things at like a college level. Like that level could bring on popularity. I know a lot of girls in high school that were like that. And even then, I remember that I spent a lot of my time just telling myself, oh, like I could never connect with them. We have nothing in common. They're never going to like me. But at the end of the day, it's that I held myself back because I never even tried. I never even tried to get to know them better. I just automatically assumed that they would never want to talk to someone like me. And like I said, I'm not talking about the popular kids that are jerks. We can kind of cast them aside. Yes, they're popular, but they're jerks. They're not the kind of people you want to associate with. But there are popular kids that you probably do want to get to know. I know a lot of you guys do have crushes on the popular girls, and those are people that you want to get to know that just happen to be popular. So the best way to go about doing that, and something I wish I knew back then, was that I need to try to connect with this person's desire to be liked. That's the most important thing. So if I was back in high school and I were to talk to one of the popular girls or one of the popular kids, I would say, hey, what are some of the things you like to do for fun? What's the last movie you watched? Do you play any video games? And at the time, Fortnite wasn't big, but I'd ask them, do you play Fortnite? I'd want to get to learn a little bit more about their personality because I feel like the more I asked and the more I was open to learning, the more they would share. And then obviously, the more they share, the more they feel like they can trust me. And building trust with someone is what makes you likable. It makes them want to spend time with you and want to talk to you more. So a bunch of Trail to Victories says no. Super Kid says no. Donna the Gamer, yes and no. Ash's Trash YouTube says no. Enster says yes. Benji and Ollie posted bananas. Ian says yes. Shadow, more bananas. Hunter says yes. So yeah, so it's a bit of a mix here. I know some of you guys may want to get to know the popular kids. Some of you want nothing to do with them. So there's always a bit of confusion around that initial point too. I just remember when I was in high school, I did want to get to know the popular kids. I thought some of them were cool and I did want to talk to them, but I felt like we were in different worlds and there was no way we can connect. And it took me time to really realize that that's just not true. It's something I created in my head. And all it took was me making the effort to talk to them, to say hi, to get to know them better. Slayer says, Josh, people think I'm popular because I talk to people in school a lot, but I don't hang out with people out of school a lot. How can I hang out with new people more? That's a really good question, Slayer. So in school, you may be more popular, people may care more about you, but outside of school, you kind of have a more relaxed life, not with a lot of people. So how do you hang out with people more? I think one thing that you have the opportunity to do here is if there are people in your school that like talking to you and like spending time with you, you could be a plan maker. You could be the person that says, hey guys, let's get a bunch of people together. Let's go to the movies this Friday. Let's go bowling. Let's go to an ice cream shop. Let's go do something as a group. So you might have the opportunity here to get the kids from school to do things after school and outside of school with you. Matthew Chaplin says, I'm not popular, but I know exactly who I want to talk to in school. Yeah, Matthew, I mean, it's important to tell yourself, like, hey, these are people I want to get to know better. And I think you determine who that is based on their personalities and what you learn about them and what you see them doing. A lot of times it's easy to tell who are the nice popular kids from the jerk popular kids, right? Like you can easily see that the jerk popular kids are the ones that are spreading rumors or gossiping or gloating about themselves, all these different types of things. And those are the kids you want to stay away from. Let's see. Lord of Luxury says, I don't care about the popular kids. Those kinds of people are the nerds nowadays for me. Hey, I totally get you on that. Let's see. Donald the Gamer says, when I took trigonometry, I hated it. I had an F in the first semester and I felt like an idiot. But all the smarties in the class were complaining if they had a damn A minus. Yeah, there's always situations like that where it's like, you're struggling and you see these kids that are like, I got an A minus or I got a B. And you're just like, man, really? Like, we're all struggling here. There's always those kids. Not to say that overachievers are bad because look, like they have different mindsets. Their parents maybe are driving different goals for them. So that can sometimes affect their behaviors and mindsets. Atlanta Boy says, sometimes the popular kids can't just mind their own business with their own friends, if that makes sense. Yeah, I mean, sometimes popular kids, here's the thing too about popularity. When you feel like you're popular, you feel like you can get away with more things. You could be a little bit more ballsy for stuff. So you might want to, like, if you're a popular kid, you might think like, oh, I could just walk up to those people and interrupt their conversation because it's funny. Or I can just do this silly thing in front of my friends because it's a prank. Popular kids tend to think they're a little bit above the law or a little bit above rules. And that can get kind of annoying. But back when I was in high school, there were a lot of popular kids that I wanted to talk to. I wanted to get to know better. I was just too scared to do it. Ollie's saying, what is the third picture on the wall? Ollie, I know it's going to drive you crazy if you don't see it. So these are the 4 Mr. Rogers quotes I have featured here. The child is in me still and sometimes not so still. The greatest gift you ever give is your honest self. I like you just the way you are. And play is really the work of childhood. These are all Mr. Rogers quotes. If you don't know who Mr. Rogers is, look him up. So that's for you, Ollie. I know it'll drive you crazy trying to understand what it says. So let's see. Ollie asked another important question. Does YouTube make you popular? That's an interesting question. That's something I definitely want to tackle in another video because I know a lot of you guys do YouTube, or you have YouTube channels, but you maybe don't talk about it in school because you're afraid people are going to make fun of you. So that's something I definitely want to tackle in another video. So I want to jump on to the second point here. If you think that's helpful, if you thought my first point here on popularity is helpful, hit the thumbs up button, guys. The second point I want to jump on to here is something I wish I knew when I was in high school, that the reason why no one liked me, and this goes back to my crush. So I had a crush in high school, and I've done a video on this, and I've shared this story tons and tons of times, and I'll probably share it forever because it was such a monumental moment for me. Um, Video muted? Uh-oh. Is the video muted? I don't think it's muted. Arm Baltic said it's muted. But it was such a crucial experience for me in high school, getting friend zoned by my crush, because looking back on it, I realized, man, there were a million things I could have done and should have done differently, but I didn't. So, um, did you turn the volume up? I'm confused. I don't know. Anyway, all right, it's not muted. All right. So, the one thing that I realized when I was in high school, or I thought when I was in high school, is that if I just acted like the best of friend possible to my crush, that eventually she would turn around and realize that I was the one for her. I had this imaginary thought in my head that the nicer I am, the more of a nice guy I am, eventually it's going to break her down, and she's going to say to herself, "Wow, like Josh is just the one for me." And I got that idea. I don't know if any of you guys have ever seen the show Lizzie McGuire, but I coined the term Gordo Approach because there was a character named Gordo in the show who was Lizzie's best friend. He did everything for her. He helped her with everything. And at the end of the day, he never made the effort to ask her out, made the effort to go out with her. But at the end of the end of the show and the end of the movie, she eventually realized, wow, Gordo's the one for me. So, I was affected by Hollywood just like everyone else was, or everyone else is. And I thought to myself, the nicer I am to this girl, the more I kind of just really just act like a good friend to her, the more she's eventually going to like me, right? And that just simply wasn't true. It was something I wish I knew in high school. It was 100% the reason why she didn't like me was because I was being such a nice guy, because I spent the majority of my time not expressing my feelings or showing my feelings, but just kind of playing around and being soft and scared with how I interact with her. So let me explain what I mean by that. So I would walk this girl to all of her classes. I would call her every single day, and we'd talk on the phone for like an hour or 2 hours. I would talk to her about other guys that she liked. And I never openly expressed that I liked her and I wanted to go out with her. In the very, very beginning, things could have been totally different because I believe she did have a bit of a crush on me, or the way that she interacted with me was a little bit more flirty and fun. But as time went on, she started to realize Josh is just not going to make a move, and I see him more as a friend. And I solidified myself as a friend simply because I never acted on it. And this is something I wish I knew in high school, because if I can go back and change that moment, things would be 100% different. And it's something I know a lot of you guys struggle with too. You're in that position where you're afraid to be open with your crush or be honest with them or to tell them exactly how you feel. And I don't just mean saying, "Hey, I like you," and then waiting to see what they say. I mean expressing how you feel, asking them to hang out, learning about them, being flirty with them, like teasing them, making the move, going for a kiss, doing all of these different things that openly express that you like your crush. I was terrified to do it in high school. And because of that, I ended up getting friend zoned. For a lot of the girls that I liked in high school, I ended up falling into this friend zone simply because I was never proactive. I was always afraid, and I was always waiting for the girl to openly express interest in me first before I did anything. Now, I want to know what you guys have to say. Have any of you guys been in a situation like this? Let's do a quick chat poll and see. Have you ever been in a position where you wanted to show your crush that you like them, but instead you just kind of waited for the right signals or signs from them before you actually did anything about it? I know a lot of you guys are probably in this situation. I'm curious to see what you guys have to say in the chat. I'm going to read some of the things you guys are saying here. Rainer Fitz says, should I wait until high school to get a girlfriend? Rainer, I don't think you should wait until high school to get a girlfriend. I think that it's totally fine having a girlfriend in middle school. Now, the type of relationship you'll have in middle school is different from the type of relationship you'll have in high school. So, for example, You may have a girlfriend in middle school where the two of you, the core of your relationship is just talking to each other online or just hanging out in school together. It might not be the type of relationship where you go out on dates or you guys kiss or anything like that. So you can definitely have a relationship in middle school. Just understand what the two of you are comfortable with and be okay with that as you go forward. So I see a few of you guys are chiming in here. Matthew Chaplin says, yes, I still am. Melanie Spears says, yes. Red Lightning says, damn, don't know. I don't know what's going on there, but Hunter says, yep, now has a boyfriend. So that girl has a boyfriend. Supo Kid says, yes, yes, yes. Sonic Mania Plus Force is good to see you again, man. Hey, Sans Skeleton, good to see you too. Sans says, I've never been friend zoned, but that is only because I've only had one crush. Yeah, I mean, I've been friend zoned by tons of girls in high school, and a major part of it, I thought it was a big part was my looks, or I just wasn't confident enough. And like I knew the things that maybe I didn't excel at, but I didn't make any effort to improve them or to work on them. And I think that's something a lot of guys struggle with too, that they're not seeing the type of success that they want with girls, or girls seeing the type of success they want with guys. You are not seeing the type of success you want with your crush in general, but you're not working on making changes in your day-to-day life so that you can actually see improvements in how you interact with them and how you talk to them. That was something I totally struggled with in high school, and I just couldn't put my finger on it. I couldn't figure out exactly what I needed to do differently. And it's only looking back at it now that I realized that I just needed to put my confidence on display. I needed to realize that I'm going to succeed more if I actually am open and honest and daring and challenging in every which way that I take. Cheyenne Hall says, I need some advice. My school dance is tomorrow night. My two best friends are going to be there. The only problem is they hate each other. How do I handle this? Cheyenne, that's a tough one. If your friends don't like each other, I've been in a position like that before where two of my friends were fighting with each other and both of them wanted me to not invite the other person. So they only wanted my attention versus, me splitting my attention. I think, Cheyenne, the best thing for you to do is to realize that if they don't like each other, it's up to them to figure out how they can make that work. You shouldn't have to be in a, sorry, I woke up really early. You shouldn't have to be in a position where you have to choose between your two friends. That's not fair to do to you. They shouldn't be putting you in that position. So I would tell each of your friends, look, guys, I'm going to see both of you there. I'm going to spend time with each of you there. But I'm not going to be mean to the other one. I'm not going to be rude to the other one. And if you start insulting them or attacking them, I don't want to be around you. Let them know what the ground rules are. And the ground rules are that you want to spend time with your friend, them. You want to spend time with them. But you don't want to be in a position where you have to awkwardly deal with the other person in any which way. So let them know what you're not willing to accept and be forward with them. But you can really have a really good time, even if it is just bouncing back and forth between the two of them. Super Kid, hey, I'm not ignoring you. I must have missed your comment. I'm kind of just randomly picking and choosing. You said, my crush found out that I like her. My crush found out that I like her. And then she started acting super nice to me. What does that mean? Well, it can mean a bunch of different things. I think that if your crush is acting nice to you and now she knows you like her, the best thing for you to do going forward is to pursue her and to ask her out. It's so oh man, I keep yawning. Why do I keep yawning? It's so important for you to now take the next step and to be proactive here, because just like I made the mistake in high school where I had the opportunity to go after the girl that I like and I just kind of waited and told myself, well, maybe I need more signs, or maybe she'll ask me out. You spend all that time waiting and eventually the hype dies down. So Supo Kid, you're definitely going to want to act on it. I think the best thing for you to do is to ask her to hang out, see if that works. RB, I see you cursing a lot in here. I know you're upset about something, but try to be mindful of the language because there are people of different ages in here, man. Let's see. All right, let me just read what RB said here. RB's Red Lightning, by the way. My friend told my crush that I like them, and they did it right in front of me because my locker's next to my crush, and I'm screwed now. What do I do? All right, RB, I'll answer your question, but like I said, be mindful of the language, man. Try to not curse so much because, like I said, there are people of different ages in here. So, your crush knows that you like her. I was also in a position like this in high school, and I'll tell you how I handle it and how I probably should have handled it. When I was in high school, there was a girl that I liked that my friend shared a locker next to her, and he told her, I kept telling him, "Oh, I like this girl. I want to talk to her." So eventually, I'm standing right there. He's packing his locker, and he turns and he tells her right there in front of me. This girl just looks at me, and I think to myself, "Okay, what do I do now?" And I just kind of like awkwardly walked away. So that was the biggest mistake because when this girl found out that I liked her, I I don't know if I had a chance or not, but I automatically took the role of me not having a chance by not acting on it, by walking away. So that was the problem that I ran into then. I got nervous, I got scared in the moment, and I kind of just walked away. So how can I have handled that situation differently, and how can you handle your situation differently too, Arby? Well, if you're in a position where your crush now knows that you like her, not now knows that you like her, and this goes for anyone too that has a crush where the crush knows how you feel, it's important for you to ask them out, to make the effort to to um to make the effort to actually pursue them now. Because if you don't, if you kind of stand back and you kind of hope things die down or hope rumors don't spread, well, then you're only going to hurt your chances with your crush. Now that your crush knows that you like her, there or him, depending on who likes you, there's a gap there, a window, a time frame you have that's slowly closing in before your crush eventually says, they didn't make the effort to talk to me, they're not doing anything, I'm just going to give up on them. So there's a small window before that ends up happening, and you want to make sure you catch them before that does happen. So, like I said, Arby, you're in a position now. The girl knows you like her. The girl knows you like her. Yes, that was grammatically correct. Girl knows you like her. It's on you, man, to step up and to do something about it. Because if you don't start talking to her more, you don't start interacting with her more, she's gonna feel like you're just not interested, and it's not gonna go anywhere. So let's jump in here. Cheyenne Hall says, "How do you deal with bullies? I had to sit by a girl that bullies me." So Cheyenne, that's actually something I wanted to jump on here as well. When I was in high school, I also dealt with bullies. So I was a huge, and I still am to a degree, a huge fan of Hillary Duff. I used to love the Lizzie McGuire show. I used to listen to her music. Hillary Duff was just really popular when I was in high school, and there were a lot of kids that would kind of make fun of me for it and tease me for it and call me names and stuff. Um, and I think what I ended up doing a lot was whenever I saw someone else was trying to bully me or be mean to me or just do things to get under my skin. Back in high school, I wasn't the kind of person that would just like react and get upset and yell at them. I was the kind of person that would just kind of like turn away and just be upset and be annoyed with them without dealing with my feelings in any way. So, if you have people in your life that are bullying you or being mean to you or just kind of pushing your buttons, what they want to see from you is they definitely want to see you get angry. They definitely want to see you step up and say something or be mean. Like that's what they're hoping for. So, when a person's trying to bully you, they're trying to take the higher ground. They're trying to get in your head and play games. How do you beat that? How do you beat a person that's trying to get at you and poke at you enough so that you actually just react negatively? Well, you have to realize that the only way to fight fire is with water. You don't fight fire with fire. So if someone is being mean to you, you don't beat them by being mean back. You beat them by being nice and calm and you treat them in a way that you would want to be treated. Because what's going to end up happening is that the person may say, look, you're an idiot, or you're stupid, or you're this, or you're that. They can say all these things, and a simple response like, hey, that's interesting that you think that. Listen, I don't think that about you. I think you're a pretty cool person, and that's about it. Like, you're flipping the script now and you're taking ownership of the situation, because by putting kindness out there, you can walk away and realize, hey, I did all that I could. I'm not engaging in their negativity. I'm only here to spread positivity. I wish I had really understood that in high school. Instead of just walking away angry, I wish I had told myself, no, just respond with kindness and let it go. Because at the end of the day, I'm not walking away with anger. They are. They're the ones who's walking away with their chest all riled up and annoyed. I'm not. I'm walking away relaxed, calm, and peaceful. So that's what I would suggest doing. It's that whenever someone tries to dig at you for something that you like or something about you, the best thing to realize is that you don't have to fight fire with fire. You can fight it with water, and you can cool the flames rather than help them grow. Donald the Gamer says, Miranda Costco was my real crush. I loved iCarly. I was embarrassed to say that when I was a kid, not anymore. Yeah, I mean, the thing about me in high school, and this is what kind of separated me from a lot of popular kids was that I wasn't afraid to tell people I really like Hillary Duff. A lot of people thought it was weird and they thought I was a weirdo. It's like, oh, what do you mean you like Hillary Duff? You don't like 50 Cent or you don't like this or you don't like that? I was like, no, no, really. I like this. I'm just a fan of it. And that honesty, that straightforwardness in high school is not something you see a lot because in high school, a lot of people want to fit in. Like it goes back to the first point I mentioned that, we all want to be understood and accepted for who we are. And the easiest way to do that is to just fit in, to do everything you can to follow everyone else, to just be a follower. That's the easiest way because you're not rocking the boat. You're not challenging anything, and no one's going to question you if you're just like everyone else. But for me, I wasn't really just like everyone else. I was different there. I had my own interests and things I liked. Um, hey, Emma, good to see you. And because I had my own interests and because I did my own thing, not a lot of people wanted to connect with me because I wasn't willing to conform. And that was something that held me back from being liked in high school because I wasn't able to conform. I'm not suggesting you do conform to be liked. I think that what you'll definitely end up seeing is that the more you stay true to yourself, the more honest you are with yourself. Right here, this quote: "The greatest gift you can give is your honest self." The more honest you are with yourself, the better it's going to be, the better you're going to kind of see the world, the easier it's going to be to have real, authentic interactions with people. And you'll have to kind of conform or play nice or just fit in a lot less because you're not building your life around that. You're building a life around what you want to do. Just reading through some of your guys' comments here. So Mo has a YouTube channel, says, since I'm much older than now, I can say through life experience, it's not worth it to take life seriously. Just have fun and don't take the stress. Yeah, I totally get you on that, man. I'm curious here. I want to do a quick roll call here. Let's just get it here. Let's do a quick chat poll here. How many of you guys are in high school? I'm curious to know what grade you guys are in. So if you're in ninth grade, put ninth grade. If you're in middle school, put seventh grade, eighth grade. If you're past high school, you're in college, or you're even older than that, leave it in the chat. Let's get an idea of where everyone stands. And I'm going to jump back and answer some more of these comments here. And then I'm going to share the next point. What's that? Just checking. I got a random phone call. But I do want to also say this, guys, that after this live stream, I do what's called a Instagram after party. So let me tell you about this Instagram after party. Basically, what it is this. If you're on this live stream right now, you're invited to the Instagram after party. I jump over on Instagram. You can follow me over there on Instagram at the Josh Speaks. Oh, stuff fell. At the Josh Speaks. Follow me. Make sure you're following me over there. And then when I go live right after this, it's an after party. So I jump on, I bring you guys on, and we do video chats. I answer your questions. It's a little bit more laid back, a lot more fun and relaxed. These are more topic centric. We're focusing on answering a question, or in this one, I'm focused on sharing stories with you guys from my high school experience. But join me over on Instagram. It'll be a lot of fun. So Super Kid says, what's a grade? So I know some of you guys are in the UK or in England and stuff. Basically, you can also just share what school level you're in. So if you're someone in secondary school or primary school, or I'm not sure what all the school levels are in over there in Europe and stuff, but let me see what you guys had to say. So Violet's a freshman. Ethi says Ethi's 10th grade. MBT says 10th grade. Trail to Victory's 8th grade. Ollie year 8. Sonic is in 11th. Sphinx 8th grade. ELDA Sensei says 30 years old here, bro. Cool, man. I'm 31 now, right? Yeah, I think I turned 31. So let's see. Dono the Gamer just graduated last June. Austin's in 9th grade. Sean Johnson says 8th grade. Benji's in the transition year. Roblox, I'm in 5th grade. Mo's in college. Red Lightning says Josh knows. I do know. Ray is in 10th grade. Aretha's 8th grade. Hunter's in sophomore. Roblox 5th grade. Sphinx, where my 8th graders at. Cheyenne, 8th grade. Emma Peterson, I graduated in class of 2017. Congratulations, Emma. My channel's in college. Inko says, I'm a freshman. Cameron Foley says 10th grade. Roblox 5th grade. Super Kid is year 8. So we got a lot of 8th graders, people in year 8 in here. So that's pretty cool. So, hey, Violet, no bananas. Just hold the bananas for now. We'll save the bananas for later. That moment when you forget your age. I forget my age all the time. I always forget how old I am. So okay, so cool. I'm really happy that I get to see there's such a wide range of you guys in here, and I'm curious for any of you here that are a little older, or you have your own high school experiences, things you want to share. Leave it in the chat here, because as you see, there's a lot of people here who are in the 8th grade, and they really need to like hear this advice. They really need to know what to expect as they move into high school. So the next thing I wanted to talk about was, and this is an important one, guys. Back when I was in high school, I was super, super jealous of a lot of my friends. And the reason why I was jealous of a lot of my friends was because they were way more successful with girls than I was. They were way more confident in who they were. And I was still in the process of figuring myself out. I felt like I looked dorky and nerdy. You guys will see that when I post the thumbnail on this video, you'll see a high school me, what I look like in high school. But Della is asking what college you go to. I went to Stony Brook University. It's in Long Island, New York. That was back in 2005. That's when I started high school. So, so I was super, super jealous of my friends because I would see that they would easily get girlfriends, or it was so easy for them to talk to people, and they didn't have the same confidence issues or the nervousness that I did. I remember one of my friends in high school in particular that he was one of the first people to start wearing like button-down shirts and like tight jeans and like dress shoes, and he had a messenger bag, and he just dressed cool. Like he dressed like he was older than everyone else. And people loved that. Like he was so confident whenever he would talk to girls or talk to teachers. And I would always think to myself, man, like I wish I had that level of confidence. Dono the Gamer says, can I buy your book signed, Josh? Dono, you can. So here's what we can do. So the only way that you can get a signed book is there's a few ways. One, I can come speak at your school or see you in person. Two, I have copies of the book that I can, I guess, mail out. So we can figure out that if you want to shoot me a DM on Instagram, we can figure out a way that I can mail it out to you. I can autograph it and sign it for you and then do that. But if you order it online through Amazon or something like that, then you're going to get the standard book. You're not really going to get a signed one. But man, I was super, super jealous of my friends. And, I would always tell myself, like, I wish I had the confidence that they did. And I just didn't. I just didn't really feel like I did at all. So what did I do? What I would always do is I would kind of just beat myself up. I would say, I'm not good at this. I'm not good at that. I'm never going to be as good as them. And looking back at it, it's like, it was a poor decision. I shouldn't have done that to myself. I should have recognized that the best thing that I can do is to first accept myself for who I am. And that's something that all of you guys should do. You're not perfect. You don't have it all figured out. You're not the best with talking to girls. You're not the smartest kid in school. You're not the most well-dressed. You're not the most popular. You're not these things. You're just a person who's figuring it out. You're a person who's learning as you go along, as I was too, as we all are. And it's important to not beat yourself up just because you don't have it all figured out yet. Everyone is in the process of learning and growing. Every single person. And I wish I can sit down with my high school self and tell him that, and tell him, hey, you got a lot of acne right now, and like puberty is just treating you weirdly, but you're going to get through it, and you're going to figure it out, and you're going to be okay with yourself. And it's something that I wish all of you guys can realize, that like, even if you're struggling right now with how you look or what's going on in your life, you're going to get through it. Okay. You're not in this alone. So I want to jump in and see what you guys have to say. Austin says, have you ever gotten into a fight, Josh? I've gotten into a few fights. I've gotten into fights in middle school. I got into a fight in the Boy Scouts. In high school, I got into not really fights, but kind of scuffles with other kids. But I've never, I think, been in like a full-on fist fight. I've always kind of been able to kind of talk my way out of it, to realize, hey, look, do I really want to fight? Is this the best thing for me to do? And kind of think it through before I just engaged in a fight. So I've never been in an actual fist fight where people are slinging at each other. In middle school, it was kind of like we're hitting each other, but not really like, all right, guys, UFC style here kind of stuff. Let's see. Disappeared. Trail to Victory says, how would I turn running a 7K for enjoyment with my crush into a date? We already have it planned, but it isn't exactly a date. So Trail of Victories, that's a really good question. I think one thing that you can do is this. It's that you guys are going to run the race together, but you can also ask them to hang out with you beforehand so you guys can practice running. And that's an important thing. It's like, if you guys already have this big event planned, You can always say, hey, let's meet up on Friday and just let's practice. Let's go for a run together, just a short run. Go for a short run with them and then go get something to eat. And then make that a consistent thing where you guys meet up every few days and go running. That'll allow you to spend more time with them and you'll be going on dates with them. That way, when you have the big 7K race, it's like you guys are doing it together. And that's going to help you guys connect so much more. Sean Johnson says, how do I get you to talk at my school? Yeah, that's a good question, Sean. So currently right now, I'm putting together a page on my website where you guys can fill out a form and you can invite me to your school. And the way that it'll work is this. I'll ask you basic things like what's your name, your email, some way that I can contact you, the name of your school, where is it located, and then if you can put me in contact or give me the name or the email of, let's say, a teacher or a principal or someone in your school that can actually make it happen, I'll call your school. I'll email them. I'll reach out to them and say, hey, look, this person, Sean, wants me to come speak at your school. And I think the best way to kind of amplify that is if you can get multiple people in your school to sign on board, then I could say, look, there are 10 kids at this school that want to see me speak. You guys should definitely hire me to speak. And more than likely, they'll bring me over. So that's something that I'm working on. I don't have that form set up just yet. I'm still working on that part of my website. I know I'm way behind on it. It's part of my 2019 goals. But if you want for now, just shoot me a DM on Instagram. Let me know that, hey, I was the one who was in your chat and stuff. I want you to speak at my school, and we'll see what we can make happen. Ethi, I always forget how to pronounce it. I think it's Ethi, right? Says, any tips on healing your relationship from past trauma? Supo Kid, I'm sorry if you got skipped again. Supo Kid has, if you guys didn't notice, Supo Kid has the little sunglasses with new right under it. And that means he's a channel member here. He supports the channel. So he gets to use custom emojis like the yes and no icons that are appearing there when he writes no. So if you want to use custom emojis, if you want access to video chat with me one-on-one, you can always become a channel member. All you have to do is click the little join button down below and you can support the channel every month. So back to Ethi's question, any tips on healing your relationship from past trauma? If you've been in a relationship where you've experienced past trauma, maybe the person's cheated on you or they were abusive in some way, or something negative happened that just really, really set you off and you feel like you're not in a position where you can move on or be happy in a relationship going forward, I think the best thing for you to do in that situation is take time away from being in a relationship and try to process what's happened. Because jumping into a new relationship isn't going to help you deal with your problems from the past. You're going to keep thinking about them. They're going to keep spiraling in your mind. It's not until you process them. Now, there are many ways to process your emotions and your feelings and the things that happen to you. One way is to speak to a counselor. You might want to reach out to a counselor in your school and just say, look, I need someone to talk to, or find your own not guidance counselor, find your own therapist that you can speak to in your neighborhood. Another way is to kind of just talk things through with your friends or with your family members. Having someone to talk to about what you experienced, putting it out there, verbalizing it, helps you think about it more, recognize what it is, and then take action on it. And that action might be, I recognize this thing happened to me. It was a pretty crappy situation. And for my next relationship, for the next person I want to date, I'm going to do this, this, and this differently. So that might be a good way to kind of approach it. So Supo Kid, let me go back to your question here. Josh, I feel like if I ask her out, we might lose our amazing friends and we've known each other since we were born. So yeah, so if this is a girl that you've been friends with forever, then there's always the risk that things might get awkward between the two of you. But it all depends on what you really want. At the end of the day, if you want to be with her, if you like her, then I'd say that might take precedence. You might want to ask her out because that might be what you ultimately want. If you feel like it's going to ruin the friendship and you don't want to take that chance at all, well, then maybe it's best to just kind of focus on just being friends. But back to what I was saying before about being jealous of my friends, I spent a lot, the joshspeaks.com, not the joshspeaks.gov, Mo. Joshspeaks.gov would be an interesting website. But yeah, I was so jealous of my friends and I thought to myself, they were so much cooler than me. And I think if I can go back and give myself advice, what I would honestly say is that everyone has their own unique style. And it's important to recognize what your style is and recognize what makes you different and unique, and to put that out and put that on display and be comfortable with it. Because you're not going to be your friend. Your friend is not going to be you. You people... The two of you are completely different. I apologize that I'm yawning so much. I ate right before the live stream, so I think that kind of gave me the sleepies here. But it's so important to realize that you have your own unique style and grace that you bring to the table. Something I wish I knew back when I was feeling jealous of my friends. Another thing I think is important I want to talk about here, guys, is that I was way too much of a jokester in high school. I spent so much time trying to make people laugh, trying to be silly, trying to just be a class clown that people didn't really take me too seriously. People thought, okay, Josh, he's just a funny guy. So when it came to approaching my crushes or talking to people that I liked, well, what ended up happening was that they just didn't look at me that way. They looked at me as just Josh, just a funny guy. So Arby says, answer my question, please. So guys, I know a bunch of you have questions. You're asking them in the chat. If I skip over your question, I don't get to answer. There's always the super chat function. You can always use that front and center. It'll put it right in front of my face and I'll see it and I'll answer it right then and there. But so Atlanta Boy says, in conclusion, Trump is still your president. Well, yeah, he's still the president until the next presidential cycle or election. Then we'll see. Maybe he won't be president. Maybe he will. We'll see. But ultimately, what I'm saying is that I spent way too much time being a jokester. And I know a lot of you guys are kind of the class clowns or joke around a little bit or, spend your time trying to make people laugh. But I think it's important to always scale that back a little bit because you don't only want to be known as the person who's a jokester, because the problem with that is that people just won't take you seriously. You run a higher risk if your teacher's just being annoyed with you and then not giving you a chance or just kind of being mean to you in some way. People say not my president, which is wrong and fake news. I think when people mean when they say not my president is that they don't support the president or support his policies or support what he represents. I think it's more figurative than it is literal. I don't think people literally mean he's not my president. They figuratively mean he's not my president. Emma says, hey Josh, I have 2 YouTube channels and I want to help people, but I don't know how. So Emma, what I'm also planning on doing, and this goes for a few of you guys too, and I'm going to run this through my Discord. Now, if you're not following me over on Discord, you need to be, guys. I just revamped Discord. I put up a bunch of new boards. We got mods in there. We have lots and lots of chats every single day. It's a lot of fun. I'm really, really loving Discord, guys. The Josh Speaks on Discord. If you want the link to that, all you have to do is go to thejoshspeaks.com/Discord, and it'll take you right over to the Discord. Any of you guys can join, but what I want to start doing is implementing kind of a mentee and mentor type of program. So Emma, for someone like you or any one of you guys that want to also be your best self, that also want to help people, and maybe you want to have a YouTube channel that you do it, or you want to do it on Instagram. If you want to inspire people, I want to help you guys get the tools and all the things that you need to start doing that. So it's going to be a kind of a trainee program to help boost you guys up so that you can be your best selves and help others do the same. So that's kind of my plan. Emma, stay tuned. I'm going to help you out with that at some point. I'm thinking out all the details for how I want to do that, but that's one of my goals, secret goals. It's my secret 2019 goal. But like I said, I spend way too much time being a jokester, and I think I would say inappropriate things or I would do inappropriate things. And I thought it was funny. I thought it was silly. But a lot of people just didn't take me seriously. So if I can go back, I would change that, guys. And I recommend to any of you guys too, if you're the class clown or you're a jokester or you're someone that just plays around too much in school, scale it back a little bit. Try to be a little bit more serious, not serious, but try to be a little bit more mindful of the things that you're doing. So that people can actually pay attention to you and want to spend time around you without thinking like, oh, this person just can't be serious for a second. So Mo says, what this chat needs is Nightbot. That would be fun. So what is Nightbot? Is that something I can run on YouTube? I'm just reading through what some of you guys are saying. So do some of you guys feel like you're perceived as a bit of a class clown or a jokester in school? I'm curious to know how many of you guys fall into that category of just not being taken seriously by others. Type it in the chat here. I want to see what you guys have to say. So Maxi Samp says, I have a crush on a girl in my college classroom. 4 months, I didn't talk to her. Then she messaged me. She asked me for my school project only. If I did not, we only talk about college stuff. So yeah, so if you're in that position where you're only talking about college stuff and the conversation isn't going to anything personal, it's on you to try to make it a little bit more personal. To talk to her, ask her what her interests are, what she does outside of school. It's on, I know it might feel weird and it might feel out of place to start talking about other things, but you're in college, like in college, you're not just only doing schoolwork, you have other interests. So just asking someone, what else do you like to do for fun, is a simple way to kind of just break out of just the schoolwork mindset and to go into something different. Donna the Gamer says, I wish I was jokester. Fortnite Noob says he was. Supo Kid says, people don't take me seriously because of my channel. Interesting, Supo Kid. I'm going to check out some of your videos and some of the stuff that you've put. I think I've seen a few of your videos where I saw you went to, I forgot what the convention was. You went to one of the conventions. Ali says, I'm not a class clown, but I think they're funny. Sean said, I'm taken seriously mostly. Atlanta Boy says, make your move, man. Make your move to what? Atlanta Boy, I'm not annoyed with you. Why would I be annoyed with you? I don't even know what happened that would make me annoyed with you. He said, I hate Nightbot. He thinks I spam after you're just doing back-to-back messages. All right, I'll look into what Nightbot is. I don't really know what Nightbot is anyway. I got to look it up. As a chat bot that acts as a moderator, is fun to talk to. Okay. All right, I'll look into it and see what it's about. Some days I'm a class clown, but other days I'm not. Yeah, I hear you on that, Emma. Look, there's nothing wrong with having fun and being silly in school, but I think sometimes people can take it a little too far, and they might start doing things that are humiliating or embarrassing just to get people to like them. And I was kind of in that position. I would do a lot of humiliating and embarrassing things in high school just to get people to like me. And it was something I wish I can go back and change. So, and yeah, I mean, ultimately what this comes down to is that the reason why I say no one liked me in high school is because a lot of it was in my own head. I felt like people just didn't like me. I was quiet in class a lot because I felt like people didn't care about what I had to say. And I feel like some of you guys are in that boat too. You feel like, oh, people don't care about what I have to say. My opinion doesn't matter. I'm not interesting. All these negative thoughts circulate through your mind. And I think it's so important to just quell that, guys, to silence the negativity that you're bringing on yourself, and to realize that you can be somebody great. You have what it takes to do that. And it's important for you to share your voice with the world, to let other people know what you have to say and what you think, and to not feel like you need to conform to what everyone else is doing just to be liked in high school, to feel like you can be confident when you talk to your crush or when you want to make friends, to feel like, you can do your own thing and you can break apart from the mold and you can be unique and different. It's so important for you guys to hear that and for you to know that, because I wish I knew that when I was in high school. And it's something I really, really wanted to tie down and just tell you guys. So Arby, save the WWE stuff for private chat, man. No, not everyone here is a wrestling fan. And the wrestling stuff isn't tied to what we're talking about. Dario says, 12 years ago, I graduated from high school and still have dreams of being in high school. So Dario, I'm curious how you feel about that. Why do you still have dreams about being in high school? Is it just you have dreams about it, or do you wish you can go back and change something or do something differently? I'm curious to hear what you have to say. Yeri Maya Magato says, do you think, Josh, it built by a long time to practice in any relationship skills, starting from friends, and you mean mastering self-awareness, self-mastery, self-control? Yeah, I mean, it really comes down to mastering self-awareness and self-control. And I know that's tough to do. Will you ever voice chat in your Discord? Yeah, definitely want to start voice chatting my Discord. I want to start having conversations with you guys. I think it'd be awesome. But I think that this really comes down to having self-awareness. And it's tough to do when you're in high school because there's so much pressure to focus on schoolwork, to focus on people and drama. And you're just maybe not at that stage of your life. But if you're someone that watches my channel and you're someone that's been watching for a while, you know what I'm about. You know that I'm here to help you learn and grow. Like, that's the key piece to it all. Is it Landon? Thank you so much for the $4.99 super chat. I really appreciate it. So Landon says, hey, I like this girl and we're kind of friends, but I really want to be better friends with her, but I'm an awkward person. What should I do? That's a good question, Landon. So you guys are kind of friends and you find yourself to be a little awkward around her. So what are the steps you should take? Well, I have a bunch of videos that would definitely help you on this. Check out all the videos I have on dating tips for beginners. That's the name of the playlist. That'll help you out. But I think ultimately to get closer to her is that you want to start transitioning away from friends and start transitioning more to a person who's interested in her. So how do you do that? Well, when you ask questions like, so what do you like to do for fun? What are your hobbies? And you start talking to her about the things that she likes, or you talk to her about, just the things you guys have in common. I think it's also important to add in elements that are flirty and fun. So one thing you might want to do is this. If she tells you she loves watching, I don't know, football, you might want to tease her about that and say like, you like football? You don't look like it. You look like the kind of person who likes, I don't know, whatever that singing show is now, the one with the masked singers, the masked singer, right? You might want to tease her about that, and she'll come back and say, no, I don't. I like this. And you have that playfulness with her, because building tension is really what's going to help her kind of start to see you as a guy that she might want to date. If you're the kind of person who just always agrees with her, Landon, and you're always just saying like, oh, what do you want to do? And you're always just kind of playing around to what she wants, then she's not going to look at you as someone who's standing up for yourself. Another thing you want to do, Landon, is that you want to be proactive in making plans with her. You want to start asking her to hang out. You want to start inviting her to do things together. You want to start spending time with her one-on-one. By taking these initial steps and showing her that you are kind of leading the path, and so that she can be a part of your world, she's going to start to look at you differently. Because if you're just too passive, you just kind of hang out in the background, and you just kind of like are waiting for her to make the moves or show you signs that she likes you, well, then she's not going to feel like you're stepping it up and doing anything about it. So I hope that's helpful, Landon, as a good first step. Like I said, check out the playlist, Dating Tips for Beginners. I think those will be super helpful for you. And thank you again for the super chat. We got 2 more minutes in here, guys, before I head on over to the Instagram after party. Like I said, if you're not following me over on Instagram, my Instagram is the Josh Speaks. It's a lot of fun. All of you guys are invited to the after party, because the after party is where all the cool kids go. So if you want to send a super chat in these last 2 minutes and get your question answered, you could totally do that. But otherwise, I'm going to try to start to bring it to a close here. Like I said, I want to see what some of you guys have to say here. I see some of you talking about wrestling and everything like that. Dario followed up and said, I have this dream of my crush that goes to the same school where I graduate, and this year she's going to graduate from that school. That's an interesting dream. Yeah, I mean, I've had dreams where I was back in high school too. I think that here's the truth, guys. As you get older, you're always going to look back at experiences you had, whether it was 9th grade or 10th grade or 11th grade or college or whatever it is. You're always going to look back and tell yourself, man, I wish I could have done that differently. I wish I would have known then what I do now. I wish I can just go back and change things. But the truth of the matter is this: your experiences are your experiences. You can't change them. All you can do is set the path going forward. You can choose how you want to take your life and where you want to go with it. Because at the end of the day, all you have control over is your own self. You don't have control over anyone else or anything else that happens. So if you feel like you want to accomplish something, if you feel like you want to talk to your crush, if you feel like you want to do better in school or make more friends or go to the college of your dreams, if you want to do these things, look for opportunities and put yourself out there. Do it, take chances, make mistakes, guys. It's so, so important for you guys to do this. So I'm going to jump over to the chat just to bring it to a close here, guys. Thank you so much. If you haven't already hit the thumbs up, hit the thumbs up on this, on this video, guys. JTW Star says, I've got dyslexia and people think I've got special needs. What can I do about this? So JTW, I get where you're coming from. A lot of people don't understand dyslexia or understand a lot of things. Like their knowledge is pretty limited. I think the best way to kind of help them understand that you have dyslexia, and there's really nothing wrong with that. Lots and lots of people have dyslexia. Is to kind of explain to them how dyslexia works. Maybe share a video with them. Uh-oh, I see bananas. Uh-oh, the bananas are back. Share with them. I'm going to try to finish this quick. All right, share with them what dyslexia is all about. And look, if they don't get it and they keep thinking it's special needs and they keep getting everything confused, just try not to pay too much attention to it, because the best you can do is explain yourself, explain what it is. And if they don't get it, that's on them, not on you. Oh my God, the bananas, guys, they're back. I know about that. I just learned it. All right, one more question, guys. Let's get the last question in here. Matthew Chaplin says, what should I do about someone I'm interested in who lives far away from me and is in a different time zone? So you like your crush, they're in a different time zone. What do you do about it? Well, you have to ask yourself if having a long distance relationship is possible. Is it something you can actually do? God, they're releasing the bananas, guys. What do I do? Oh my God, they're releasing the bananas. All right. If a long distance relationship is possible and it's something that you guys can do, well, then I think the best thing for you to do is to just keep talking to them, video chat with them from time to time, and see as you get older if you guys can make plans to hang out one-on-one. Oh my God, the bananas. I just see them. I just see them. No, there we go. Release the watermelons. Mo's countering with watermelons now. see if you guys, as you get older, as you guys get closer together, whether or not you guys can make it happen. So, who was it? Someone asked. Benji Leon Ginger says, how does Instagram work? Follow me over on Instagram at the Josh Speaks. I'm gonna go live, and what I do is I bring you guys on to video chat. I always try to start with the newer people who are there for the first time. We have a watermelon and a banana war right now, guys. I don't know what's going on. I don't know who's gonna win. But basically, and turtles are in the mix. We got emojis are going crazy. Emojis are running wild, brother. Rice bowl. Anyway, guys, I just want to say this. Don't let anyone bring you down. You know, you're a unique person and you bring something unique and special to this world. And if you're in the process of learning who you are and you feel like people don't understand you or accept you for who you are, remember, you can be somebody great, and other people's opinions should never define who you are. That's something I wish I knew back in high school. And if I could talk to high school Josh now, that's exactly what I would tell him. Thank you guys so much for being a part of this live stream. Head on over to Instagram at the Josh Speaks and go follow me over there for the Instagram after party. And that note, guys, I'll catch you over there. As always, love and peace. See you guys next time.